Hi AP, this is the second part to 2.8. So right here, these are the videos for 2.8. Just did ionic compounds, and now let's do molecular. Molecular compounds, because it is only two non-metals, we call them binary. So the word binary means two elements, as you see right there. And because we're talking about molecular compounds, only non-metals. And these ones should be the easy ones because they're sharing electrons. And if they're sharing, there's no charges, and they're sharing, so that means there's no loss or gain of electrons. You won't see any transition metals because it's only nonmetals, so no transition metals. Oops, that's an M. No under the staircase. No Roman numerals. A whole lot of no's. So these ones students do very well at because it's very easy, okay? However, you do need to know a little bit of rules in these things called the prefixes, okay? So rules for naming molecular compounds. No charges. But now we actually name how many we actually see in that compound. We didn't do that with ionic. Just because you had two coppers, we didn't call it dicopper, okay? Ionic compounds, we don't name how many you actually see in the formula. We name it by charges. So molecular compounds, you count how many you see, and then you use a prefix. The prefix means, in the dictionary, means before. So you're going to put one of these 10 prefixes right before it. So mono, di, tri, okay, and I'm just going to make a little note on this one, not bi, okay, because I know some polyatomics say like bisulfate or bicarbonate, okay, that's polyatomics. So we got di, tri, tetra. And then once you get to number 5, the rest of these, they're all geometry names. Like pentagon is a 5-sided object, so that means it's called penta. And hexagon is 6-sided, so we call it hexa. Probably out of these, it's number 7 and 9 that kind of trip students up because you don't really come into contact with those names unless taking geometry. But hepta, so don't forget the T. I always have students forget the T and put just hepa. And nona. Okay, not your nana, not your nina, okay, nona. But because it is a non-metal bonded to a non-metal, besides using prefixes, because this one is the second name, you do have to change the ending to IDE. Okay, that's it. So I put some sample ones on here so you can check out spelling. Even if the first one has a subscript, you still name the prefix. So dichlorine. Now this mono. You can only use mono if mono is for oxygen, but it has to be the second name. So if you actually start with oxygen, like for example, like oxygen and maybe like this, OF, I'm not going to put monooxygen because oxygen is the first one, and it has to only use mono for the second one, okay? Now because I do have two fluorines, I'm going to put di, and I got to change the ending to fluoride. Okay, please be careful with spelling fluorine, okay, not flourine, okay, it's U-O-R, not O-U-R, okay, so U-O-R, fluoride, okay. One little quick note about spelling. When it comes to the word monoxide, students like to go monooxide, and it's technically wrong because it's monoxide, so what happens is just one of the oxygens get dropped. Every other prefix, a double I is okay, and a double A is okay. Everything else is English perfect. But when it comes to monoxide, we don't say monooxide. Okay, so just drop one of the O's. The other examples like dinitrogen, tetraoxide. So just because it's an A and an O, you keep them together. And nitrogen, trifluoride. And if I had 4-phosphorus, pentaphosphorus. Okay, check out that ending. Don't confuse phosphorus with like naming acids. Okay, and then deca sulfide. So deca meaning 10. So if you want to pause the video, try these real quick and then check your answers. So either write the formula or the name for the following. And I didn't put a lot on here because, like I said, students do very well on molecular compounds. So if I had dinitrogen, so I got 2 nitrogens as a subscript, and then tetraoxide. So tetra meaning 4, I have oxide. Now I'm just making a little note here. Do not reduce subscripts. Okay? I know that 2 and that 4 kind of look like empirical molecular formula, and the empirical would just be like dividing each one by 2, but I didn't ask for that. You name the compound, you name the molecule its true name. So if I want dinitrogen, I want dinitrogen, okay? So please don't start thinking about I need to reduce stuff and any of that, okay? If I have 2 nitrogens, so dinitrogen, and I have 5 oxygens, so the prefix for 5 is penta, and then oxide for that oxygen. I have phosphorus, so phosphorus, and I got 3 chlorines, so the prefix for 3 is tri, and then I got to change that ending to chlorine to chloride. Now I have the name phosphorus pentachloride, so phosphorus, capital P, and I got chloride, and I got 5 of them. And the last one, sulfur, and 6 for fluorine is hexa, and then fluoride. Okay, so like I said, very easy and naming, and I don't see you guys having any trouble with this. Okay, but please make a note, don't reduce subscripts. Keep the name, the true name that it is. So that's why they're called molecular, not empirical compounds, molecular compounds. So keep it the true name. See you on the next ones for acids.